On this episode of Slainte, we're headed to the dark side as we level up for a quest to Arcade Brewing in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. We'll discover how this retro gaming meets craft brewery first got started, try our hand in the brew house, and find out why this little community hub is making some big waves all over town. Just across the harbor in Dartmouth, you'll find Arcade Brewing. This new brew house is continuing the tradition of excellence on the craft beer scene, but with a retro twist. In the steady glow of arcade machines, the imaginations of great beer adventurers take flight. To find out how this all got started, I sat down with one of the co-owners, Stephen.
You know, they say the best way to ruin a perfectly good hobby is to make it your career. But, you know, I'm also the owner of Noble Grape, which is, it's a chain of wine and beer making stores. Started out in the beer end and sort of turned into the wine end. And this is sort of getting back to our roots, getting back to our, passion about beer and brewing, so.
And why was that important to you to bring this home brewing to other people?
The community became sort of large enough to have a standalone store. And for years, it just wasn't. So when we finally got to the point where we felt that it was big enough, we just went for it. Thought, if you build it, they will come type of thing. And so far, so good.
And what sparked your interest in brewing?
My grandfather and his many buckets and airlocks and really bad beers and things like that when I was young. We're going back 30 years now, so yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about the startup here?
So we have a warehouse out back, and we sell online, and we distribute to our own stores, and we distribute to other stores. So it's a small wholesale company as well. And what we wanted was a small little retail outlet so we could sell to the public. And the pandemic hit, and everything came to a standstill. And everything came to a standstill except our imaginations, I guess. And the more we got talking about it, the sort of more grandiose it became. And, took years simply because of, lack of ability to get anything done during the pandemic. Yeah. But, here we are with a brewery, an arcade, a brew school, and a standalone store, so.
And so when you opened this retail space, did you have the intention of opening a brewery beside it?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, tell me about that.
We started with the idea that it might be cool to set up some equipment and show people how to use it. And then we just got talking, and again, nothing's moving. We can't actually do anything about it, so we're just bouncing ideas off each other. And then it got to be like, geez, well, what would be really cool is if you could actually have a beer while you were, shopping for home brewing supplies. Again, the beer, the businesses are separate, so you can't actually have a beer while shopping for home brewing supplies, but you can have a beer before shopping for home brewing supplies, or after. And I had, at the time, sort of developed an interest in classic pinball from the olden days. So brewing takes some time. We just thought it might be a fun thing to introduce to the whole concept, so.
Oh, that is
it was just something very unique. I mean, there's nothing like it, to the best of my knowledge, anywhere. So.
And can you tell me a little bit about this space? So I can't help but notice you have like a huge TARDIS in the corner here. This is so cool.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we hooked up with a gentleman from the South Shore. We met him a long time ago working for a marketing company. And he sort of owns a business, I'm not sure I'd call it a business, but it's called the Mad Secret Lab. And he likes doing fun, weird things. You might have seen our haunted mirror in the bathroom. He's responsible for that. As well as, and we just sort of got, again, we had nothing but time on our hands. So, we've got, right over in the corner, we've got a beer coaster Connect 4. We've got just fun things around the store, TARDIS, lots of little antiques hiding in and out of places, So, like I say, it was a project of passion, had some time on our hands, so we went for it.
It sounded like the perfect place to hang out with a beer. To discover more about their brew style, I spoke with another co-owner, Mark.
We're able to focus a little bit more on the beer and the beer brewing, so we're working on fine-tuning that, getting the beers exactly where we want. Both Steve and I have also always had a passion for traditional English ales, traditional English bitters, brown ales, stouts, things like that. And that's not exactly where the market is here for craft beer. It's very Americanized. It's very high hop IPAs and high carbonation beers. We're traditionalists in that regard. Everything's served on English hand pumps so that we're cask conditioned ales and whatnot. And we like to use hops, but they're English hops, and we also believe in balance and subtlety with the beers. So it's a...
Starting out home brewing, what was it like then moving towards the larger scale?
Well, home brewing was pretty different back then because really all that was available when I got started were canned beer kits. And you add a bag of sugar and the yeast comes in the lid and you ferment it out and you kind of hope for the best. Things have changed a lot now because there's so much more available for ingredients and for equipment and just for general knowledge too. I mean, anything you need to know about home brewing you can find on your phone. It's just there. And because the market's evolved and matured, there's a lot of new equipment coming out, all-in-one, all-grain brewing systems. So people don't have to start from a canned kit anymore. They can start as all-grain brewers, brewing beer every bit as good as any commercial brewery can do. And all the ingredients that any brewery in the world has, you can get. You've got it at your fingertips.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's a fun hobby that way too. Yes. It's really come a long way. It's exciting.
And what does it feel like to share your passion of brewing with other brewers?
I love talking to other brewers about beer and about the hobby because there's so much to learn. There's so much, everyone's got different ideas about how to do things, and there's new ideas coming out all the time. So you always come away with new ideas when you're talking with someone else who's passionate about the hobby.
Next up on Slainte, we'll meet some of the other creative crew at Arcade Brewing, and I get to try my hand at a mini mash at Brew School. Arcade Brewing is a delightful new brew house in Dartmouth where you can try your hand at some old school pinball with a pint. To find out more about the customer experience and what he loved most about his work at Arcade Brewing, I spoke with the bar manager, Matt.
It's all exciting from start to finish, everything we do, like developing ideas, coming up with new ways of delivering old ideas. It's all of it's fun. It's all great.
And did you have any interest in home brewing before now?
Oh, absolutely. My
Really?
friends and I were into making mead, beer. We tried doing some ciders. We were always into like different fermentations and stuff like that. And this was just an opportunity to really get into it. So
Awesome.
worked out well.
And where did that interest spark from?
I went to school for cooking originally years and years and years ago at a high school right into college, and did that for 10, 15 years, and then got out of that industry because just really wasn't suited for it, and came over to this, so.
And what kind of things can customers experience when they come to this location?
I mean, it's quite a lot, really. Like, you come in here, you're gonna hang out with one of the team members here. They're gonna teach you anything and everything you wanna know about fermenting, just about anything. And it's also a space that you can come and just sort of hang out with people and talk about beer with other people that are super interested in beer, on top of like the arcade and everything else. It's more of a destination for beer geeks and beer lovers than anything else, right? It's wild, actually, sometimes. You'll meet random people, and they'll start talking about the fact that this place exists, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, I work there. And they're like, really? It's like, yeah, and they lose their mind. We've had people come up from the States on work, doing different business around the city, and they've set this as a destination to come because they've found out about it, right? And there's nothing else like it, right?
And I understand it wasn't like a planned thing. It just kind of developed that way, right?
It was an evolution of an idea, right? It started with the shop and then making it a destination. Like, well, what if we put in microbrewery or pico brewery, whatever you want to call it, and just more and more and more. And it's just like, yep, we can do it. Yep, we can do it. Let's keep going. And then it's like, this is getting to be really cool.
Yes. Did you ever have a moment where you said, no, we can't do it?
I mean, there's always moments of doubt, but the team's super enthusiastic about getting every idea put through the washer to see if we can make it work in some way, shape, or form. And if we can't, then it goes on a shelf and we pull it out every once in a while and like, can we do it now? Or what about if we tried it this way? So we make just about everything work, and if it doesn't, we'll try again sometime.
My philosophy precisely. To find out what made their location so unique, I spoke with the Brew HQ manager, Jeff.
It was pretty wild to come in and see everything under one roof, and we're having such specialized knowledge with the staff that were here that could answer your questions and just stand and talk for an hour about beer. Because a lot of us that are into beer making, a lot of our, our partners, our spouses, and our friends get a little tired of our of our obsessive beer rambling. So this is a safe space. You can just come in here and talk our ear off about beer. That's what we're all about. I have found myself here at like 6:30 in the evening after after we've closed and still talking to customers because we just get caught up in the conversations, and it's so much fun. There's so much passion in this hobby.
And what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's incredible that there's so much going on under one roof and that we're all connected. We have the brew school that's attached here, so we're bringing new people into the hobby, or even people that weren't doing all grain brewing before, and they want to take the leap from doing what was called extract brewing into the all grain world and doing the grain to glass thing. I think that's really our big drive here, because that's where a lot of the creativity comes in. And having all that under one roof where customers can learn to brew, get their gear to brew, enjoy the arcade, sit down and have a pint at the arcade brewing, like at the bar, and just talk to other customers. The knowledge sharing that goes on is just incredible. And the friendships that are made. I mean, I know most of our customers by first name as they come in the door. They're in here. This is like Toys R Us for adults, right? They're every time someone walks in the door, they're happy. So it's a great retail space to work in because everyone's happy through the door because they're excited about, getting their ingredients and getting ready to do their next brew.
And what does it feel like to now be on the other side of that and helping out those customers like you once were?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think it's super helpful for me because I'm a home brewer first, and I was a customer first, and I know what I appreciated coming into the store, and I want to make sure that this space is still true to that, right? It's about, first and foremost, it's about the hobby, and it's about the customer, and it's about sometimes solving problems. They come in, maybe a brew hasn't gone well for them. How, can we rescue that? How do we fix them? Or sometimes a customer will plateau a bit in terms of the beer styles they're making. They want to experiment, try something new. We might have a new technique, a new recipe that we can share with them. And so it helps reignite sometimes their passions for making a beer. And sometimes they just want to talk about the beer they're making, and they want to share that excitement. And I remember that's how I was when I came in, finding my people that I can sit and talk to about it. So I want to be that for other people that come in, and I haven't lost that with them. I recognize, I think that's important that people have a space to come to, and let's talk about this incredible hobby.
What a great opportunity for the community. Next, Jeff offered to show me the brew house floor, which also included their brew school. May I say, I'm so impressed by how small this space is to have your brewery and then also a full brewery school in here as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have the production brewery that we do our in-house beers with, and then we also have these all-in-one kettle systems, and we run the school here. We can't run them both at the same time. There's sort of safety regulations around that about running production brews with all that hot water along with having customers here. So when we're doing brew school, they get to use the space exclusively.
So what are we gonna do now?
Well, I'm gonna grab the lid off of here.
Okay.
Inside this, we call this is a Grainfather brewing unit. So inside we have the malt pipe with a screen in the bottom. So it's gonna keep all the grains in here. And I'm gonna hand you a mashing paddle.
Ooh!
And I'm not just gonna dump them all in because we just get this big clump of grains. And we wanna make sure that they're all evenly saturated with the water. So I'm gonna probably pour about maybe a fourth at a time in, and then you're gonna stir as
While
I'm
you're pouring?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool!
And you're gonna get some you're gonna start smelling that malt, that aroma.
And it's quite hot water?
It's about 67 degrees. So this first stage for the hour while we're mashing the grains, we generally keep, depending on the recipe, we keep the temperature between 65 to maybe 70, 71 degrees. Changing the temperature in your beer recipe will change the nature of your beer. Sort of the lower that the temperature is, we're gonna extract more fermentable sugars and usually end up with kind of a drier or higher alcohol beer. If we mash at a higher temperature, up around 69 or 70, some of the sugars that are created will be longer chain complex sugars. The yeast doesn't like that as much, so you end up with a more fuller bodied, sweeter beer style. So yeah, lots of things that you can play. You'll learn all that in the brew school.
Well, that's a lot to think about.
Already?
Yep. And I just keep doing this?
Yep. We're just stirring. We want to make sure there's no dry pockets. I think we're good.
Okay.
I'll just give it a quick
Yeah,
check.
you should
check. I just want to make sure I don't punch out the screen on the bottom, but no, it feels like everything's doughed in. There's no dry spots. If we lift the grains up, the grains look all nice and saturated. So that's great. We're done with that. We're going to put the lid on to help contain the heat. And like any good brewer, I am going to I'm going to make some notes. I think that's the key to brewing too, is making notes.
Next up on Slainte, from a good old English pub ale to a black and tan, I sit down and try some of the brews I'd been hearing so much about. Located off the bustling streets in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, you'll find Arcade Brewing. After a morning of getting to know the crew behind the beer and exploring this inviting atmosphere, I was parched. So I sat down to try a few of these brews for myself.
We call this English pub ale. Probably the most widely sold beer in the UK is called English bitter, but the word bitter doesn't resonate very well around here, so we've chosen the word English pub ale to try to, get people to try it because they will like it when they try it.
Right. Ooh.
You smell the hops in it?
Yes.
We also use leaf hops, which is rare for a small brewery. Everybody uses pellets. It just gives a little bit extra freshness to the aroma, I think.
Oh, wow.
Letting our secrets go, but
I know.
I won't tell
anybody.
One of the things about British beer is that it's meant to be very easy to drink. Alcohol's lower. It's down around 4% alcohol, so you can have a couple. What do you think?
I love it. I love it. But what I really love about it is that it's funny you said that you don't put bitter in the title. It's a bitter beer, but it's not just a bitter beer, Easy. It's a very accessible bitter
and
beer.
I like to think you can also taste and smell the grains and the malt and stuff too. It's not just a one-trick pony. Very easy. I could sit here. This is sort of the beer that I became really passionate about. And this is the beer that I drank living in London for a year, and this is the beer I would drink.
What's our next one here, Stephen?
Okay, so we're gonna move on to a traditional brown ale. Again, we try to keep our beer a little lighter in alcohol. We're bucking the trends. This is about 4%. Not crazy hops, just a little bit of roasted character, a little bit of malt character, not like a stout. Should be very easy drinking.
I'm getting such a toastiness.
Good. And when your beer's too cold, you don't get any of that. That's the bottom line, right? So
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever told me that. Actually, just that
True.
drink it a
would
bit
just-
warmer.
It'd be numb, right?
Yeah,
So.
that's so smart.
And it's still cool. It's not like people say in the UK, warm beer. It's not warm.
No, it's not
It's
warm.
very cool, but you can taste it.
So much like just that roasted malt, like that kind of a smokiness to it almost.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit toasted, a lot less, but we're still using the fresh hops in the finish just to give like a touch of freshness, you know.
And
Beer like this is best. The fresher it is, the better it is, right? You know, so some different styles of beer can benefit from aged lagers, things like that, and cold temperatures. Like you want to drink this as close to the brewery as possible.
Really?
You know, yeah, that's right.
I love that one so much, and still so approachable. It's not too heavy. It's not too deep. Like it's very just
Glad you
very
like it.
smooth, very easy drinking.
Yeah, very much so.
What's the next one here?
Okay, well, the next one I would call a strong English ale.
Okay.
Now, strong in the UK means around 5%, so I think we're looking at about 5.2% on this. We call it Peculiar in homage to a beer from North Yorkshire called Old Peculiar.
Okay.
And it's similar in color to the brown ale. You use a little tiny bit of molasses to like achieve a little bit of rumminess in the nose. A little bit more malt complexity, a little bit more alcohol. And yeah, let's see what you think. Slightly different.
Let's go for it.
See if you can get a little bit of molasses there. Obviously, it doesn't want to be overdone. Right? Yeah, well, the molasses has a sweetness in the aroma, so you have to balance it well with the hops.
That is like
It's smooth, isn't it? Very smooth.
so smooth, and it's not overpoweringly sweet either. Like there is a light sweet to it, but it's not even like you could still drink this with dinner. You know, like
Yeah,
it's not a
absolutely.
dessert beer.
No, absolutely. And it looks like that sometimes. I mean, people get scared when something's too dark and you know, but really, again, I could drink a lot of this too. I focused on beers. We're focusing on beers that are very drinkable. That's the bottom line, right? So.
What is our very last one here, Stephen?
Well, there's a very long and popular British tradition of mixing beer on the fly. People, brewer doesn't get offended. We call this a black and tan, and it's basically half the English pub ale, half the peculiar. You get a little bit more hop from the bitterness. You get a little bit of the sweetness, and you know, you can basically blend whatever you want, but black and tan is one of the most popular blends in Britain. Just, hey, give me a black and tan, and they'll know what you mean, right? So,
Really?
yeah. In the right pubs, yeah.
So cool.
So, yeah, see that? It's just a different beer. So you've got a fourth beer without a fourth beer. Completely different.
That is so weird. Wait, it was this one and the peculiar?
Yeah, exactly.
That is so interesting.
I'm starting to drink this a lot, actually. I like this black and tan. So.
And could you also experiment then, I guess, too, with like, you know, maybe having a third of
Yeah,
one and
of course,
2/3 of the
whatever you
other?
like. Whatever you like. That's the beauty. Well, nobody's going to take offense around here, so.
It's so cool because it just makes a completely new beer on its
Yeah,
own.
absolutely.
I absolutely love them. I thought that I loved beer so much already. I didn't know how much I would love them surrounded by arcade games.
I know. Again, it's a strange environment to be tasting traditional beers, but that's what we're all about. So.
I just absolutely love it. If we were gonna like cheers with one, which one would you pick?
Oh, let's do the black and tan.
Black and tan.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. And then what game are we gonna play?
Medieval Madness. It's one of our most popular machines. One of the most highly rated pinball machines of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna smoke with it. I know, I mark my words.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Stephen.
you. Pleasure to do this. Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. If you're looking for a place where connoisseurs of great beer and the 80s can unite and kick back with a pint, then look no further than Arcade Brewing in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. If you're not immediately swept away by the knowledge and kindness of the hosts, then the amazing selection of carefully crafted beer and arcade games will absolutely win your heart. I can't wait to stop by again and see what's brewing at this fabulous community brewery.